Today I'm going to show you how to fix root rot on a ZZ plant. Now I'm assuming it has root rot. I don't really know. It doesn't look like it's super healthy. It's probably in very low light. The leaves are also a little bit wrinkled, and the customer has this little sticky trap in here, which almost always indicates that they've got gnats. And gnats are one of your first signs that you've got root rot. All right, let's get it out of the pot and let's see what's happening. I'm just going to squeeze the sides here, and that should help it to come out pretty easily. There we go. The health of your plant is always going to be associated with the health of your roots. So when you repot, it's a good idea to check the roots. And there aren't many. You can see how many roots there are compared to the size of the pot, you guys. Look at this. Hardly any roots in this giant old pot. So these roots are constantly having to work through a whole bunch of water, which is why it got root rot. Let me come up here. I'm going to show you guys a little bit closer. So you can see how some of these roots right here are nice and white and beautiful and healthy. And then there's other roots like this that are brown and sort of papery thin and just come right off. The white ones that are firm are healthy roots. And the ones that sort of brush away or peel away, those are your mushy or your unhealthy roots. We know what we're working with here. So let's get into the repotting of it, okay? But first of all, we have to clean these roots. There's some pathogens on here that we want to neutralize, and we're gonna do that with hydrogen peroxide. I'm just gonna spray it all over the roots here. So we are going to severely downpot this plant because the root ball is only a couple of inches wide. So we only want to go to a pot size that's like 1 inch larger. For a ZZ plant, they like their pots pretty tight. So we're going to downpot this tremendously with some brand new cactus soil that I have over here. But I need to locate a really small pot because I didn't realize the root rot was so extensive, so I'll be right back. All right, I got a 6-inch diameter pot right here. This is what we're going to be going into. I just did a little DIY cactus soil over here, but you can use a store-bought cactus or succulent soil if you like. I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit down there on the bottom. Then I'm gonna set my roots in here. A lot of people ask if you need to wash off the hydrogen peroxide. You don't need to rinse it off or anything. You can just leave it in there. And now we backfill. Even though we had root rot with the plant, it's important that soil reaches all of the roots because we want all of the roots to come in contact with soil because the soil is what's giving the plant water and nutrients. So we want to make sure all of those roots are getting those water and nutrients. And the only way they can get them is if they touch them. All right. So one of the best ways to settle in that soil and make sure that all the roots are touching them is to slap the pot. So that's what we did right there. Like I said, I didn't invent pot slapping, I just made it weird. There we go. And you are all finished with your repot. Now, what's important about this, first of all, I'm gonna water it in while we talk about it. What's important about this is that the plant goes in bright light right now. If you go and try to recover this plant in a low light scenario, when it's already in the tremendous amount of shock and losing all of its roots and barely hanging on, it's not gonna go well. So you definitely want to put this plant in bright light. I know that ZZ plants are great for low light. They're one of the best at it. But while it's recovering, put it in bright light. It'll recover way faster. Let's give it a good soak. And yes, even though this plant had root rot, it no longer does. I killed all the pathogens. There's no problem with watering it right now. We want to water it right now to help recover because the plant needs water to recover. So even though it has root rot, yes, you give them a full and thorough saturation after you save them. That is how to save a ZZ plant that has the root rot. I would say after about 2 to 3 months, this plant will be up and thriving once again. It's gonna take a little bit of recovery, but it had very extensive shock. But anyway, that's how you do it, super easy.